We're standing on the brink of a massive shift in the way we work. And I'm not just talking about new apps or slightly faster computers. I'm talking about technology becoming an actual active partner. So today, we're going to dive into the vision of AutonomyX, a company that thinks it's figured out the roadmap for this wild new future. This right here is their core promise, and it's a really powerful one. But what really jumps out at me is the order. It starts with human conscience. See, this isn't some vision of machines taking over. It's about tech amplifying our best qualities to get to a result we can actually trust. So let's unpack what that really looks like. All right, so the first big idea here really needs us to kind of shift our thinking. We have to stop looking at technology as just a simple tool that we tell what to do and start seeing it as a real partner that we collaborate with. Just imagine for a second, your software isn't just sitting there waiting for your next click. Instead, it's actively anticipating what you need and working with you on solutions. This vision is all about creating a constant, seamless conversation between human and machine, boosting our abilities in every single moment. And this slide, well, it just breaks down the division of labor perfectly. The machines, they bring the raw power. We're talking incredible scale, speed, and the ability to spot patterns we'd never see. But we, the humans, we provide the conscience, our ethics, our empathy, our judgment and purpose. AutonomyX sees itself as the bridge, that critical interface where machine power and human purpose can finally come together. So why is this partnership so important right now? Well, it's because the very nature of software is changing. We are moving into what's being called the agent-first shift, and believe me, it changes absolutely everything. So what in the world is an agent? Well, think of it like a piece of software that can actually act on its own to get a job done. The agent-first era, then, is a future where these smart agents become the new project managers, coordinating all these complex tasks that, up until now, have always needed a human directly in the driver's seat. And this illustrates the difference brilliantly. In the past, we were the ones juggling a dozen different tools, trying to make them all work together. In this agent-first future, intelligent agents are the ones doing the orchestrating, building, and managing these complex workflows all by themselves. It's a massive leap forward. But a leap this big, it's not without its dangers. Giving this much autonomy to software creates all these new ways things can go wrong, new friction between what we want and what the machine does. And solving these challenges, it's absolutely critical. This is the question that's probably keeping a lot of CEOs and engineers up at night. I mean, when we hand the keys over to these autonomous systems, what happens if they suddenly veer off course? Turns out, the risks pretty much fall into 4 critical buckets. First, and honestly, it's the big one, trust. If you can't be 100% certain that an agent is going to execute a multi-million-dollar transaction correctly or handle sensitive customer data safely, well, the whole system just falls apart. A lack of trust here isn't just an inconvenience, it's a catastrophic risk to the business. Next up, governance. Who decides what an agent is even allowed to do? What happens when 2 different agents have goals that conflict with each other? Without clear rules of the road and human oversight, basically digital guardrails, all this automation doesn't create efficiency. It just creates chaos. Then we've got context. An AI agent can be absolutely brilliant, but if it doesn't understand your company's specific goals, or your customers' needs, or your budget, its actions are totally meaningless. It's like having a genius employee who speaks a different language. They're just making a lot of sophisticated noise.
And finally, identity. In a world with thousands of these agents running around, how do you know which one is which? How do you make sure that only the finance agent can access the bank accounts? Without some kind of secure, verifiable digital passport for every single agent, our most critical systems are just wide open for attack.
Okay, so we've laid out these 4 huge friction points: trust, governance, context, and identity. The core mission of a platform like AutonomyX is to solve these problems by, you guessed it, connecting all the pieces together. This connective tissue analogy is just so powerful. The idea isn't to come in and rip out all your existing systems. It's about adding a missing layer, a framework that lets these new autonomous agents plug in safely and work effectively with everything you've already got. So how does this connective tissue actually work in the real world? Well, the model is this self-reinforcing cycle, or a flywheel. It all starts with better data, which then feeds the AI to create better intelligence. That intelligence lets us make smarter decisions, which then leads to trusted action by the agents. And this is the crucial part. Every action generates new data, which makes the whole cycle smarter and smarter over time. ultimately freeing us humans up to do more meaningful work. And to build that flywheel, you really need to look at the whole picture. It's all about connecting multiple layers. You need the cloud and infra layer with things like Kubernetes to manage how apps run. You need the intelligence from Gen AI and these new agentic workflows. You need connectivity through APIs so software can talk to each other, a trust layer for identity management, and finally, a management layer for governance. The big takeaway here is that you can't just solve one of these things in a silo. They all have to work together. Now, a vision this big, it's just not something you can build alone. So a core part of this strategy is to create an open ecosystem, built on proven ideas from the world of open source. The whole philosophy is really guided by these giants of the open source world. From Linux, they take the idea of modularity, building small, effective pieces that work well together. From Apache, they get a model for community governance. And from Ubuntu, they take a focus on making powerful tech accessible to absolutely everyone. And this open philosophy creates a really powerful ecosystem. You've got partners focused on cutting-edge research, feeding new ideas into the system. You have others working to make the tech accessible to everybody. Then you have partners building the operational engines and the critical knowledge bases that give the AI agents their smarts. They're all working together. So let's bring this all back together. We've talked about the tech, the problems, the solutions, but what's the ultimate goal here? What's the why behind all of this? And this is the final destination. From better data to a better living world. It just ties everything together so beautifully. The goal isn't just to make businesses more efficient, it's to use that newfound efficiency to create a real positive impact on people's lives. And that's really the key takeaway. By bringing together data, intelligence, and governance, the whole point is to get rid of the friction and the boring stuff, empowering every single person to focus on more valuable, more creative, and more fulfilling work. And that, in turn, creates a smarter, more effective world for all of us. Which leaves us with one critical question to think about. Technology is evolving from a passive tool into an active partner. The tech is pretty much ready to go. The real question is, are we?